I'm going to share something I did today. This is a partial astral traveling, but actually I was completely in my body. I suppose if you're going to classify it, you'd call it bilocation. It's because, of course, we have our mind and all our lovely feelings in our body. That's what I call the spirit, is the mind almost. And then we have the full soul. And in between that, we have lots of different possibilities where parts of us can go off, different elevations, different dimensions, different places. So this is one of those. I called it soul viewing. Now, I'm just reading this from what I wrote. The way I did this was I looked and then I wrote. I looked and then I wrote because I was actually sharing this with my beloved because he and I were on this adventure together. He in his sleep, me in my wake. That's not unusual for us. So I'm going to read what I wrote. The world about is swirling in murky, more than before. But I can feel your pure heart, and now I've met you. You're wearing your cape, orange and blue, and we're swirling above the earth, smiling at each other, but interested to see what's going on down below on the planet. Let me look. We're holding hands. I love that. I saw various cords of murky green and grey attached to houses where disinformation is being pumped out. We took those away, like picking grass, and poured clear water from the skies to wash it away. We join our friends, huge bodies of light, who are doing a kind of Reiki upon the planet. We say hello to them. They wave back at us, smiling. They're all reaching out through the sun. They have that same golden colour. And they are smoothing over the countries with their hands, reaching through as though the sun is a portal. They're smoothing their hands over the countries, the USA, the entire American continents, Europe, the Ukraine, smoothing peaceful thought. Well, in the West, at least while people are sleeping. In Europe and Ukraine, where people are awake, their great golden hands touch the earth to wake her up there, to transmit a love of land back into the hearts of the people, away from the transmissions to their heads. Now, the substations, where the frequencies are pumped out, those transmissions to their heads, they're played by these great hands and arms, like harp strings. They're playing the blue and white frequencies, which are shooting out from these substations into a gentler version of themselves, into much more white. The greed which is in Ukraine, fueled by their resources, it's like an invisible wall between themselves and Russia. Well, these same great golden hands are rolling along all the way towards the west, up and down this spine almost, shaping the wave of hatred and envy and pressing it out, dispersing it. There are lines of furious people now in Eastern Europe, all along the Balkans and down into Italy and up into Eastern Britain. There's a kind of mass sleep being engineered to power down the spikes with this smoothing. It's like a mesmerizing lullaby, bringing sleep, calm, letting the grass grow, the sounds of nature becoming louder. We fly up to Britain to see what's being done there. Many souls are asking to leave. We watch them on a huge spiral conveyor belt moving up into the heavens. It's like a three-dimensional spiral, and I see all these souls moving up. Some of the gentlest souls live there in Britain, and they don't know what to do with the dark flies that have reached their shores. I keep seeing a great sticky fly paper being spread out to catch them all the flies who've entered upon false pretenses. And now I see this paper, it's looped back, and it deposits them in the oil countries. They'll need treatment to find human sanity and true peace. And now, the great golden hands, now they're sprinkling stars like gold dust across the USA. As dawn approaches and rolls in, these sparkles are sprinkled from above onto the great continent, shaken out of a great cloth containing millions of gold stars. A few spread down into Argentina and the other South American countries. I want to return to Western Europe and see what is planned for it. I see the lands being deeply ploughed, deeper than usual into the soil, revealing ancient secrets, memory, tyrants and poverty, suppression and oppression, all the ways. Spain, France, Portugal, Britain, Ireland. Ireland is the deepest bloody pain. A great golden hand comes down and blesses the land with more Reiki. The blood from the land flows into the salt water of the seas on either side. And I have tears in my eyes as I type this. This blood memory is wiped across Britain so that they can remember and feel it too. And I see a pale blue colour at the head of the country over Scotland, like a brain. There's some kind of a dome, shield. I do not understand it. I wasn't able to see through it. You and I, we pull up and out now to watch what's happening next. The great golden arms are now singing through the sun. Or the beings whose arms, the beings who have those arms, they are now singing through the sun and breathing great breaths, and everything is changing. Even recording this, I move to tears when I say that. Wow, I love it. We watch from afar as great ripples on the surface of the earth look like the aboriginal concentric ringed drawings. They begin to pulse through the lands from beneath the surface of the earth. We're up so high that we can see the USA and Europe with the great oceans between them. Your right arm is around my shoulder. And then I was seeing earth, soil. I watch a single golden arm pluck a man and put him standing on the ground to look to the soil, to cultivate the soil, to touch it, and see what he puts in and on it in the USA. And I look at Europe, and I see that flypaper once more in the dark river of captured souls it contains. Women in hijabs and men. They're all sailing off somewhere else, off the planet somehow. It's like that paper is being pulled off. And then my cat came to sit on my lap, and I realised that I'd spent an hour in this interesting state. So that is it, my friends. And as my lovely friend Yvette from New Zealand said, warm fuzzies. Yeah, there are bigger beings out there, and we can all befriend them. They are really happy to help us. As I described it to her later, it's as though they were stroking moss when they were doing their Reiki across the lands, across the countries, because they're that big. Imagine beings that enormous. So much love in their hearts, just wanting to soothe us and help with the peace, help with the transition, allow the earth to do what she needs to do, bring us back to be real human beings again. Thank you. I am Dr. Isabella May, and this is Activating Your Human Potential.